Most capable professionals feel stuck after some time, even though they have worked hard for years, taken responsibilities, deliver results. But the game changes when you want to get promoted after a certain time. So the corporate world is changing drastically, and it has changed drastically. It is not about completing tasks, it is not about doing things in the way you are doing. So it is all about making difference. So one of the important thing which I am going to cover in my webinar is thinking like an employer. The moment you start thinking like an employer, there is going to be a paradigm shift. So the moment you think like an employer, what you will do is the way you think, the way you take responsibilities, the way you deliver, the way you show up in every day, the way you show up in meetings, everything changes. There is going to be a paradigm shift. This is what I'm going to cover in my webinar. And this is a very deep topic, very sensitive topic, which is not written in any books. I am going to deep dive into it and show it to you how it can make huge difference. So one of the things how we are measured in corporate world is the ability to manage things under pressure, right? See, the world has become very competitive. If you see last 10 years, the way the world has changed, the impact of AI and the geopolitical situation, every business, every company is under tremendous pressure today to deliver. And their margins are coming down, the competitions are increasing. So the logistical problems, there are so many issues. So one of the greatest ability to get promoted is how you are managing things under pressure. So there are a lot of techniques which we can use, and there are practical tools which I'm going to talk in my webinar. And of course, we talk about communication, right? We often talk about communication. Communication is not just about how you write emails and how you talk to people, right? So, for example, you want to give an update to your management, you can just say, I'm working on this, it will be done by tomorrow. Instead of saying that, if we say, this is my progress, these are the challenges, these are my achievement, this is the value addition. So, there is a different way of communicating altogether. I would say communicating with influence, with authority, and that gets reflected, and that is how you build your brand for yourself. See, there is a competition everywhere. Let us admit that. If there are 10 people in the organization, and if you want to be promoted out of 10 people, there is some differentiation. And these communications like this will make a huge difference. Then another very interesting aspect is predictability and reliability. So see, if employer is employing you, they're expecting you some result from you. See, if you go back to your manager for every problem or every situation you face, then they don't see you at next level. So the question is how predictable you are and how reliable you are. This is not a one-time affair. You won't do it one time. You need to. There is something which you do every time, and there is a mindset shift, I would say. So once you bring in that, uh, you will definitely increase your predictability and reliability. And another very interesting aspect is ownership outcome. See, ownership is not about authority. People think ownership means authority. Ownership is focusing on outcomes. For example, you know that you need to deliver a project by so and so date. You will do 100 things to make sure it happens. It's not about someone coming and telling, do this, do that, nothing like that. It is about ownership. See, if we want to get promoted to next level, one of the most important things which employer feels is, are you ready for next level? That readiness comes from ownership. The moment you feel responsible, the moment you feel accountable, then you will take naturally. See, our human brains are so powerful. The moment you take ownership, automatically you will get ideas. And we'll deep dive into this in my upcoming webinar. And another very interesting aspect is skills. So when I talk about skills, see, I worked in multinational organizations for more than 35 years. I know how learning team works. So they go to business and ask, what is the turnover you want to achieve? If you want to achieve the turnover, how many people we need and what skills are required? That is very important. There's something called priority skills. And if you know what are the priority skills for your job, then you will work on that, and the probability of getting promoted will be much, much higher. See, you might work on 10 skills, but if it is not a priority skill, for example, today priority skill is AI. If you don't know AI, you will be left behind. So it is very important to understand what are priority skills and how to find out them. So I'm going to deep dive into it, and it's going to be very, very interesting, not just for your career, even for your life. This is very interesting aspect of my webinar. Then comes stakeholder management. What is stakeholder? Stakeholder means to whom you are accountable. It is not just your manager, it can be your client, it can be government, or it can be an organization, it can be people, it can be internal. So understanding who is your stakeholder. There is a big, big topic about stakeholder management, which I'm going to cover in detail in my webinar. This is going to be useful. And once you have clarity that who is my stakeholder, what is my KPA. KPI means key performance indicators, how you are going to be measured by end of the year or end of 6 months, whenever the performance achievement happens, whenever the performance discussion happens, how are you going to be measured, right? And this is the question you need to ask with your manager. So when you have one-to-one with your manager, the first one of the beautiful questions you can ask is, how am I going to be measured against my peers? There are some numbers, right? Some indicators. This is what you need to understand. Then another very, very interesting aspect which people lack is ability to delegate. If you keep doing same things, and you will stay there only. So what is delegation? Delegation is not just about giving work to somebody. It is about understanding how to give, when to give. There is a complete science behind that, which we are going to talk about. And then we'll talk about professionalism. People don't talk about it. It is not what you see in the deck, or it is not what you see in the slides, right? It is about very subtle things. So when pressure comes, suddenly when escalation comes, how you behave, that is what the management sees, right? There are small, small but very subtle incidents, and those incidents will decide whether this person is ready for next level or not. And another very important, very, very important aspect which I would like to cover in my webinar is people think that they are paid for their time. People are not paid for their time. They are paid for their attention. See, imagine you are writing an email to your manager or to your client, and with a small mistake about the figures, right? It can be a biggest blunder. So why that happens is we don't have that attention. That I would call it as mindfulness. And the moment you become mindful, the quality of whatever you do in life will increase multifold. And there are several simple techniques, yet very, very powerful techniques, which I'm going to deep dive in my webinar. We'll talk about mindfulness. There are several aspects of corporate governance. In fact, we can talk about corporate governance, and I am look forward to see you in my webinar. And another very, very interesting aspect of my webinar is, see, everybody works in different company, different organization. The the science behind every organization is different, right? Their cultures are different, their values are different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a lot of time in understanding your individual concerns, individual challenges, and we will make sure to address those issues in my webinar. So I really look forward to see you in my webinar. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.